Welcome to POV with Seun Osigbesan today, and I'm excited to have my friend and brother with me in the building today. I'm glad to welcome Dr. Olufemi Olumide today. Please help me welcome him.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here today,
Yeah, good
making
to
out
be here.
time out of your busy schedule to be here today. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the invite.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Olufemi Olumide is a Fortune 500 corporate trainer. He's an executive coach, systems and strategy activator, real estate investor. He's the director, founder and CEO of Practivate, and co-founder of Ziba Beach Resort. And we're so glad to have him on the show today, right? So let's start from Ziba Beach Resort. I was at Ziba, I think it was last year or so, or 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
I think it was early last year.
Early last year, yeah. I was at Ziba, and of course, a friend, Sam Nike, told me, where are you? So I posted the video. He said, where are you? I said, I'm at Ziba. So he said, Olufemi. I said, okay. Because that was how he connected us early last year. And it was a very great experience at Ziba. I was with my wife, of course.
Thank you so much.
And it was a great time. When did Ziba start? What has been the journey? How was it easy to start that business, of that magnitude, in that space? How was it for you? Startup.
Okay. So Ziba started in we launched 2023 August.
Okay.
So we'll be 3 years this August.
Wow.
How did it start? It started from an idea. My wife and I enjoy spending our time either on the beach or one island or the other. We don't take our vacations, as a joke. We really plan ahead.
You're intentional about your vacation.
Yeah, so we always look for what's our next place we want to go. We've gone to Maldives, we've gone to Zanzibar. We like to look for the next place to go to. And one day she sat me down. She said, what if we bring this experience home? And I'm like, good idea. And that's how the seed was planted. We started working on the business plan, called a few friends together.
Right.
Started reviewing numbers. And I'm a numbers guy. So from my head, I said, okay, I think we need 600 million naira to start. And then we started drawing the vision. Right. And Trisha incubated.
From my experience.
From my experience. And then she said, don't worry, just leave the experience.
Just leave the experience.
You go and be looking for the numbers. And so we came up with that, structured it, registered the company. And that's how we started.
Wow.
Yeah, a few challenges here and there. The 600 million that I thought would form,
I'm sure it'd be more than that.
Was like twice the cost.
Ooh.
We eventually had to raise like $1 million in funding.
Wow.
And interestingly, we raised from friends and family.
Wow. Just friends and family.
Just friends and family.
Wow.
I think one cooperative also gave us maybe like 120 million.
Okay.
But aside from that, it was pretty much just the network of people that we had.
Wow, that's such a rich network.
Well, let's be humble. We give glory to God.
We give glory to God. Yeah. Wow. So thank you for sharing that deeply about the startup. I want to ask, right? Couples in business, I always hear stories of, a guy was running the business, brings his wife on board, and then the whole thing, becomes a mess. The wife is fighting everybody, there's tension at the workplace, the toxicity level increases and all of that. And in your case, you pioneered a business from the scratch or co-founded a business from the scratch with your wife. Can you take us through that experience? What is it like? Do you have the same experience? How do you manage responsibilities in the business? How do you do that?
So I think I'll first start by addressing from the foundation, right? I feel like the first problem is in business between couples is many times they don't communicate and they don't come to an agreement. They don't have a plan.
Right.
Have a plan from the beginning.
Right.
And that's why it's good to write down the plan and have a vision to say, okay, this is what we want to do.
Right.
This will be your role, even before money comes in.
Right.
From the beginning.
Right.
This is your role.
Clear
this
roles.
is my role. Very clear.
Right.
Write it down.
Right.
This is what I want you to do. This is what I will be doing. Write it down. This is who will report to me. This is who will report to you. Because several times there are different dynamics, and you have to understand that it's not every time that the husband and wife must be actively involved in the everyday
Day-to-day running
run of the place. So, for example, my wife does the day-to-day running of the business. Right. I only come in when there's something legal, or when we're trying to do one new acquisition, we're trying to buy new property.
Right.
I'm not in the everyday running
of the business.
but I'm in the WhatsApp group that sees the everyday running.
You see what is going on.
I see what is going on. So I think it's really about understanding, and it's okay for my wife to be the face of the business. It has to do with understanding.
Right.
So I think that's the first thing that needs to be done. Have a very good understanding. Have clear roles. And then that takes me now to your question. What has it been like? It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Do we have clashes? Yes.
Thank you for saying that, for sharing that.
We do have clashes.
Vulnerable,
Her style of running a business is different from my style of running a business. So, and that's where the clash comes in. Oh, I think it should be done this way. Or she feels, I think it should be done this way. But at the end of the day, you both have to agree on how it should be done.
Right.
We were managing a fraud case some months ago, and which is still in court right now. And she says to me, I think this case should go to courts.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I think that let's get the money from them.
Right.
They stole XYZ amount of naira. Let's get it from them. I can lock them up a few days.
Yeah.
Shake them up a bit. Let them pay the money. And she's like, nope, they're going to jail.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, can we have a hybrid?
Yeah.
Let's shake them up a bit. Let's get some money from them.
Yeah.
And then if they can't pay all the money, then they go to court.
Right.
And that worked out well.
Okay.
They were not able to raise the money, and we said, look, if you can't raise it, then it's already a police case. It goes to court, and then justice will take place. And that's exactly what happened. So there are times that one person has to take the back seat,
right?
Allow the person, because even as a man, sometimes, especially when you're an alpha male and married to an alpha female, right?
Yeah.
Two strong personalities.
Right.
My wife is pretty strong.
Yeah.
But one person has to just allow the other person, say, okay, you know what? Let's have it your way, this way. And so there are times that she comes back to me and says, what you said played out, though. I should have listened to you. And I'm like, okay, So, but it's been beautiful. Clashes here and there, but ultimately, we bring our thoughts and ideas together to make it happen.
Right. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much. That's really insightful. Thank you for that. I want to ask a follow-up question. Okay. Right. What would you advise, couples who are trying to launch a business, which you've said, at the beginning, but I just want you to reiterate it again. What advice would you give couples, who are in business, or who are trying to start a business? Is it possible to do that, business with your spouse, and it succeeds? What advice do you have for them?
So my advice will be, first things first, learn how to be patient.
Learn how to be patient.
If you are not patient, you keep on having clashes.
Right.
And then you will take the clashes to the house.
Right.
Because you are business partners and you're also
so you have
couple.
To separate the two worlds.
Yes.
The business.
Yes.
You and your partner as
yes, because if you were not married to the person, you would have to treat it as business.
Right.
For example, you can't tell everybody to resume at 9 a.m. and then your spouse is strolling in at 12 noon.
Right.
So you would have to agree that this is the culture of the business,
Right.
and this is how we want to run the business together.
Right.
And then we, as the leaders of the organization, have to lead by example.
Right.
So, irrespective of the fact that we are married, or we are together, we are partners, we can't break the culture of the organization,
Right.
because we are the symbol, we are the people that they first see
Right.
before they accept or believe. So,
Correct.
meaning, if there was something happened someday, and Ziba sent some money to me to make some payments,
Okay.
and I had the balance.
Okay.
The balance was maybe 83,000.
Okay.
Now, I could have just said, I have to go. It's in our-
we get them.
So, but instead, I did an Excel sheet.
Right.
I took a screenshot, sent it to the accountant, sent an email
Right.
to say, here is the balance of the XYZ transaction we had. Kindly make your financial adjustments and everything. And the accountant
was laughing.
like, oh God, what is this now? You understand? But that is
Accountability.
Right.
Right.
And so I always try to separate business as much as possible from when we get home. We are chummy again
Right.
and everything. So it's good to have that foundation from the beginning.
Right.
And this is just to encourage anybody thinking, can I really do business with my spouse? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
As long as you have a vision, you have
Right.
it written down, and you come to an agreement. Don't wait till the business blows, because money changes people.
Money changes people.
Yeah, money changes people. Money
So you
changes
mean-
even your spouse.
Oh, really?
Yes, now by the time you see plenty money, you're like, no, all those things. So, but if you had written down the vision,
Yeah.
okay, what do we want to do with money if this happens
Right.
in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time? So, for example, we're expanding into Ziba phase 3 right now.
Okay.
We've done phase 2, now we're expanding to phase 3.
Yeah.
And right now we need close to about a 1 billion or 1.1 billion
Right.
to raise to finish up phase 3.
Right.
Now, we had to agree that funding will not go into any other thing than phase 3.
Right.
So, meaning, director cannot get inspired and buy a new car.
Right.
You can't buy new shirts,
Right.
or buy anything
As little as
as
that.
little as it is. The proceeds for the next 1 year goes into development.
Right.
So there has to be that agreement.
Yeah.
And of course the Bible says that two cannot
Work together
except they agreed. So if that agreement is not there, you will continue to have friction.
Right.
So make sure that agreement is there. Make sure it's written down,
Okay.
and make sure that the values and the culture of the organization is very clear, even to both spouses. And I believe it will work out.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that insightful answer. I have another question.
Okay.
Do you think or believe that if couples are going to be in business, they have to be signed agreements in terms of maybe who is holding a particular stake in the business, or they run it as a family, or each of the individuals in the business? I'm not asking with respect to you now.
Yeah.
I'm just asking generally. What do you think about that?
I think it would matter on the individuals.
Okay.
I think it would matter on them. My wife and I never had a joint account till 5 years after we got married.
Okay.
Some other people have joint accounts from when they get married,
Yeah.
or even before they get married.
Yeah.
Some never do.
Yeah.
Some
have but never run it.
However,
That's where I fall into.
from anybody's accounts, we can move the money
Yeah.
out. So I think do what works for you.
Right.
Agreements are good because it creates like a legal binding.
Right.
But it really depends on who you are married to.
Right.
Do what works for you, but take it serious.
Okay.
And maybe one way to take it serious is to actually sign documents.
Right.
But there are spouses who understand themselves so
Right.
well, and who shouldn't have a problem with that. They can go ahead and just do it freely.
Right.
But the ideal thing to do will be, of course, to bring legal documents and
Right.
everything. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Let's go into mentorship in business, right? I know from our conversations, we've had several conversations around mentorship in business, and I know even your consulting business, you are a product of mentorship, your success, working with Fela Durotoye for several years, and I even know about the Ziba results. I don't want to mention names now, but I know that you are a product of, maybe if you want to do that, you can, but so I know you are a product of mentorship, you and your wife, with regards to that business. My question is, what is the role of mentorship in business? There are several people who say things like, I have my business plan, I have everything figured out, I don't need a mentor. What is the role of mentorship in business, and how has having a mentor in business helped you to achieve success in your business? You can cite practical examples if you want to.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I believe strongly in mentorship. In my own opinion, I feel like if you don't have a mentor, you're not really serious for growth. And that's my opinion. All right. But I've seen steady growth. I would refer it to as exponential growth.
Exponential growth
through mentorship. Mentorship cuts your journey by half.
Right.
Maybe even more than half. If you were to spend 5 years become an expert in something, if you had mentors or a mentor, you probably will spend half the time,
right?
Because you won't need to make the same mistakes that the mentors have made,
right?
You can learn from other people's mistakes, you can learn from their successes, you can ride on their successes, and that's how my life has been. You're right to say I first started working with Fela Durotoye back then, 2011. Was that 2011? 2009. And I won't take any decision without him.
Right.
He would guide me in different ways. This is what I think you should do in this. This is what I think. This is how I think you should do it. And that's how my consulting career started. Even after I left him, when he started running the Gemstone platform, trying to build Nigeria and transform Nigeria, I decided to go fully into consulting. And even at that time, I'll still go back to him, to say, okay, well, this is the bottleneck, or how do I navigate this? How do I solve this problem? And from time to time, he'll guide that part. And in several areas of my life, I always say that you are permitted to have more than one mentor.
Okay.
You don't need to have just one mentor. You can have 5 mentors.
Right.
You can pick the 5 most vulnerable areas of your life.
Okay.
And look for people who are excelling in those areas.
Right.
Fortunately, you could have one person who cuts across 3, 4, 5 areas that you are looking for: relationship, finance, marriage, whatever it is. You might be lucky to have one person who cuts across, but I would say don't be limited to just having one mentor. And mentorship has helped us so well. I remember when we wanted to start Ziba, so the concept actually started 2021, right? So in 2021, my wife and I had reached out to Kennedy Okonkwo. Yeah, that's him. And he's built over 2,000 houses in Lagos.
Yeah.
And that kind of person has seen it. Right. He has seen the worst and the best. So we sat down with him and said, this is what we're trying to do. And we're looking for beach land and everything. And so we're saying, he said, so where are we thinking? And we said, we're thinking of going to one of these islands, Ilashe. And I was like, no, don't go there. And we're like, why? In fact, we were a bit upset. And I was like, no, that you will spend too much money, building on an island.
Right.
And the truth is, we didn't want to listen to him. Until we made further inquiry and realized that what he was saying was true. And one day we went back to him and said, okay, tell us why.
Okay.
And he says, okay, first things first, everything you need to build on that island has to be taken to the island by boats.
Okay.
Including your cement, including your your steel,
logistics problem.
your logistics, your plumbers, your architect, everybody has to go by boat. He said that's problem number one. He said problem number two is when you start running the place, everything you need has to get there by boat.
Aye.
Either when you buy sugar, palm oil, yam, rice,
Oh my boat.
everything has to go. Oh, chicken, everything, even diesel
Wow.
has to go by boat. So he said that, and I'm like, this man has saved us heartache, right? And then we went to land. He told us the areas that we could look at, and we built. 5 years after, it was the best decision we took, because if we went to any of those islands, imagine now that prices of diesel has gone up and everything, and there's some little scarcity here and there. Everybody will running helter skelter,
Right.
So mentorship helped us take away that stress. I don't want to mention names, but there are beach houses and resorts that are in islands in Lagos that are dead or struggling to survive. Some are even dead and locked up, because of the same issues. So mentorship is amazing. Choose somebody who resonates with you, who has the kind of look-alike values that you have. I must say that not every mentor may have all the values that you have, right?
In terms of moral values.
In terms of moral values. But choose what you want to pick out from them. For example, you might have a mentor that doesn't believe in marriage. It doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to him in business.
Right.
He might have a business that works so well, that has become a unicorn, but yet he doesn't believe in marriage. Don't listen to him when it comes to marriage, but listen to the business principles that he has lived by and he has built over the years. Right. So I think that's how to balance it with mentorship.
Wow, powerful. Powerful. Let's talk about loyalty. I remember, another discussion that we had, some months back, and we're talking about these menace, especially with this generation where people are no longer loyal. People don't have simple discretion, right? You made mention of a particular case where Fela Drotoye had been maybe on a job or something, and then so he left the job for whatever reason. So they called you and you said, I'm not going to do this job.
I remember that.
I won't do this job, right? As a form of regard or honor or loyalty for Fela Drotoye, right? And I think you said you had to go and meet him to tell him.
Yes.
And he said, oh, you know what, go ahead and do it. Something like, I can't remember how.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so how do we help this younger generation to understand the concept of loyalty, the concept of honor, the concept of regard, in their generation? It's a problem, big problem, because they are mostly moved by social media. So today they are, upping from mentor to mentor. Today, they're excited, they go for this mentor. Next tomorrow, how do you, what advice, how do you guide them?
Well, first things first, I believe strongly that we all have to start first with building our own personal values.
Right.
Because if you don't have personal values or high standard values, you will fall for anything.
Right.
So what had happened at that time was that I was in 2012.
Right.
I was managing a training program for his organization. The organization I was working with at that time, Visible Impact, with one of the banks.
Right.
And during the transition, he was trying to get clarity on, the next phase of his life and many things, and he decided to focus on building Nigeria. And what that meant was that we were going to stop servicing some clients.
Right.
So I walked into one of our biggest clients' office that day, and the head of HR sits me down and says, "What's going on? I hear Fela wants to focus on Nigeria. So what happens to us?
Yeah.
You know, you guys manage one of the biggest training consulting accounts within the bank, and then she says to me, would you like to take it over? Because I know you two may leave.
Yeah.
Like you, because the other guys have been leaving too.
Yeah.
That just in case you leave, just know that you can come and resume with us.
Yeah.
Because you've done a fantastic job so far with us.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, thank you very much. I will think about it. You know, I get home and I didn't even tell him anything. And I was living with him.
Wow. At the time.
I didn't even bring up the conversation because I didn't think it was a conversation to be brought up.
Right.
So I just never talked about it 10 years after.
Wow.
I'm in a sitting
10 years after.
I'm in the sitting room in VGC with my wife. And because I had mentioned it to my wife, maybe like the way I mentioned to you, she brought it up in front of him and said, oh, that we call him FD. See you, this young man will not do work with your clients because he feels like, you know, respect and honor, and it's like, wow, he didn't even know, right? And he calls me later and says that, please, I give you permission to do work with them. I think what you did
That's
was
10 years after.
10 years after. So I think what you did was honorable, but I give you permission to do whatever you want to do with them. And after that time, of course, I started working with them.
Wow.
But it just shows how much value I placed on him as a mentor. That even though the job was dangled, if I kept, if I kept that job, I would buy a house in Lagos within a year.
Wow.
That's how
it wasn't about the money.
That's how good the revenue was at that time, 2012.
Wow, that's 14 years ago.
Yes. But I said no and I didn't do it. So, and other opportunities have come like that and I keep turning them down. If I will do it, I will go back to you and say, oh, I met somebody through you.
Yeah.
This guy is offering me to do something for me, and can I go ahead and do it, or what do you think? Because there are gray areas and we've lost a lot of friends that way. You've lost mentees, you've lost partners, you've lost associates because they went to do whatever they wanted to do without taking permission. And it's not really like they have to take permission, but run it by me.
Run it by me.
Run it by me.
Mention it.
Yes, mention it. And if I opened the door, I think it's okay for you to ask for permission to walk through the door.
Right.
And that's how loyalty works.
Right.
Someday it's going to happen to you.
Right.
It's a seed you sow. So someday some people are going to look up to you. People are going to work with you, and we'll have to take a decision based on that. And it's a ripple. So it's a ripple effect. So first things first, I would say start with you yourself.
Yeah.
You know, get to a point where you know what is of value to you. What is of value to your boss, to your mentor, to your pastor, to your leader, and yeah, that's how it works.
Wow.
That's how it works.
Wow. Powerful. Thank you for that. I think I will take two more questions.
Okay.
I will take a question on business funding. Business funding. I mean, I'm actually impressed. You know, raising up to maybe 2 billion, you know, or more in 3 years from family and friends. Right. Of course, you mentioned that, you know, a cooperative society gave you maybe 120 million. That's just about 10% out of, but less than actually 5% out of the whole sum. Right. How would you advise a young person who is trying to raise funds for their business, even if it's not at that level, right? I know all truths are parallel,
Yeah.
right? So I know if it works for 1 million,
Yeah.
it's probably the same for maybe 100 million,
Yeah.
right? So how would you advise a young person or a young business owner who is trying to raise funds for their business? What is the best strategy to use, to raise funds for your business?
Okay, I will say number one, be accountable.
Be accountable, okay.
Be accountable to yourself.
Right.
Be accountable to your business. Let me give you an example. So let me start from the lower figures.
Okay.
Because I believe that I didn't just get to the point where I'm raising billions.
Right.
I started from raising thousands.
Right.
Some 10 years ago, I was trying to do something with a business I had started at that time, and I went to pitch for a grant.
Okay.
I think the grant was
10 years ago.
Yes.
You were pitching for grant 10 years ago.
Yes, I was pitching for a grant 10 years ago. And I was asking for, I think, about $20,000
Okay.
for the grant. They said, provide evidence you've been running this business. Because I said I'd been running the business for maybe 2 years or something.
Okay.
They said, provide evidence. And I went there with a folder. I had scaled all the hurdles. It was a physical meeting. It was somewhere on the mainland. They said, bring evidence I've been running your business for 2 or 3 years or something. I had receipts I had kept for 3 years.
Wow.
I don't buy diesel without keeping the receipts. I don't buy anything I'm like, where's the receipts?
Yeah.
I want it. So I keep filing and filing and filing. So that day I went into that pitch, final presentation, and I had one, that my clear bag now.
Yeah.
I had that clear bag filled with receipts, and I dropped it on the table. So when they asked the question, please provide us evidence you've been running, I just brought it out. They were tired. They were like,
what kind of a person is this?
You keep receipt for diesel, you keep receipt for internet, you keep receipt for, and I'm printing it out. I'm not just having soft copy them. And they could see that these were receipts that, the edges were already folded.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something I just went online to quickly go and print or designed on CorelDRAW or something. I had been keeping them. Of course, I got the $20,000.
Wow.
Of course.
Wow.
And I've used that same principle to keep going, right? Accountability is very important. I've used that same principle over the years, and when you are accountable to yourself and the business, I don't take money out of my business. I need to buy a new jacket. I don't do that. I don't. Like, the money for the business is the money for the business. I pay myself a salary out of the proceeds that comes, so that the business doesn't, die.
Yeah.
Because you need to treat the business like a child, like an entity. It has a life on its own, and you also should have a life on your own. And so the second point will be credibility.
Credibility.
So I said accountability, then credibility. Credibility is very important. Over the years, when you are accountable to the business and yourself, you begin to gain credibility. Because people begin to say, oh, no, give that guy money.
Yeah.
If you give him money, he will do well with your money. If you give him money, he will bring it back for you. He will keep it well. And I think that over the years, I have now started building a good name.
Right.
And which is very important. Of course, even the Bible talks about building a good name, right? Which is very important. So build that credibility to a point where people hear your name and people want to give.
Your name opened doors.
Yes.
Because it is credible.
So that's the same thing we did with even fundraising for Ziba. I remember one of those days my wife had walked into the house, and I had walked into the house and I saw her on the floor crying. And I'm like, what's the problem? And she said, we don't have money to build anymore. We're stuck. And at that time, maybe we had raised about 600 million. And I said to her, so how much is left to build? And she said, based on accounts, she's the one keeping all the records. She has different notepads where she's writing stuff. And she said she thinks that we need about 120 million. And I said, the God that did this one will
do 120 million.
So I went for a consulting gig, oil and gas, with a friend. And I wasn't even the main facilitator of the gig. He was the main facilitator, but I was like co-facilitator.
Right.
And I didn't say much even during the entire session. But the MD of the oil and gas company was looking at me from afar. Like, I know this guy. So after the session, she walks up to me and says, I know you. I'm trying to place the face, and I chose you myself. Oh, yeah, I know you. How's your wife? You know, maybe from social media, it can be anything. Because I really never met her before.
Never found out.
And she says, what are you up to now? And I'm like, oh, we're building a beach resort. And she's like, oh, fantastic. Where are you right now? And I open my phone, and I'm showing her pictures, accountability.
Right.
This is what we've done. We've spent 300 million on this. We've done this. We've done this. We've done that. She's like, wow, this is very impressive. She's like, so how much do you need to finish up? She's like, so where are you? I say, no, we're stuck right now. That we don't have money to continue.
Yeah.
Normal, right? And she's like, how much do you need to finish up? And I'm like, I think about 120 million. And she said, I'll give you. I'm like, huh?
Wow.
Like, I don't understand.
Wow.
I'd never met her before that day.
Wow.
And she said, I'll give you. And I'm like, are you serious?
Are you joking? Are you
Are you just trying to pull my legs or something? And she's like, no, I'll give you. And she says, send me an account number. I'm like, I don't believe. But let me get home.
Yeah.
When I get home, I'll call my wife. I'll call you. I'll put the phone on speaker. That thing you said, you say it again. So I got home and I said, clean your tears. Let me just do something. And I brought up my phone and I called and I put on speakerphone. And I said, that thing you told me, tell me again. What did you say you told me? She said, oh, I said, I'll give you 120 million to finish up. My wife said, she said, so send me an account number. So we sent Ziba's account number. Next day.
You sent Ziba's account number. That's important too.
Yes. I didn't send my account number.
Exactly.
Send Ziba's account number. And she said, so next day, we got an alert of 30 million. And then she calls me and says, oh, I'm sorry, that I have a 30 million limit. So I will keep on sending 30 million every day until I'm done. Day 3, she had sent about 90 million.
Wow.
She calls and she says, Olumide. She calls me Olumide. What do you put for mouth? and I'm like, Asauma.
Wow.
And she said, we no sign documents.
Okay.
You no give me, what do they call that?
MOU.
We didn't sign MOU. No collateral.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've sent 90 million to you. And you have not said anything. You've not signed any document. You say, I beg, make you sign documents. You don't even tell me how you could pay out. So my wife took it over from there, and then sent her PA called. We exchanged documents and signed. Of course, the following day she sent the balance of the money. Then we're now talking about payments, repayment plan. But it just made me realize what accountability and credibility can do to you. That if you build accountability and credibility, people will chase you with money. And that's what's happening to me right now. People are coming to me and say, this phase 3 that people are doing.
You told me now.
Yeah, I beg now. I have 200 million.
Yeah.
Come and collect it now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, we don't need it.
Yeah.
Right? And I get those kind of calls every time. People, and I say, funny enough, I'm like, oh, do you want to fund another person's project? They say, no,
it's you that we want.
We want to give you the money. We've seen what you've done.
Yeah.
And we've seen how you have expanded and how you are accountable with the little that you've gotten.
Yeah.
So accountability is very important. Credibility is important. Build it. It might mean that for now you might not drive a fancy car. You might not look expensive. You might not, but eventually it will happen.
To pay off.
I've never withdrawn money from Ziba accounts to do something for myself. And that's how the same thing with my wife, right? We're both signatories, but I've never said, oh, I quickly want to go and withdraw money we don't do that. Because we understand that the business has to grow. That in a few years from now, when the business has stabilized, they'll just say somebody bought Rolls Royce and they'll be like, did he do blood money? But go and check the track record. Over 10 years, he's built a track system for himself, and he's at a place where he can actually now live that luxurious life. Right. But for now, no luxurious
delayed
life.
Delayed
gratification. Right. So funding for other people, I would say, I will end by saying this, that it's important to build accountability and credibility, but also it's important to be able to position that business to be able to attract the funding. Position, because position is important, right? You might have the best business model ever, but if people can't see you,
They can't see you. They can't see it.
they can't see it, then nobody can buy it. They can't believe in it. They can't position, right? A friend of mine shared a business idea with me, and I'm like, I will raise $2 million for you. No way. I said, mark my words. I had not heard about that business idea before. It looked like something amazing. Immediately, I just called somebody in Abuja. I said, please, can you link me up with XYZ? And the person says yes. We get on a plane and we go to meet the person. And right there in the meeting, the person says, we'll give you.
On the spot.
We'll give you the money.
Because the idea was well
Because the
positioned.
idea was well positioned. When they said, okay, tell us about the idea. We're like, go to www. This is what we've done.
Yeah,
this is what we've done. Oh, we've
Track
done
record.
this. We've helped so number of women. We've done this. We've done that. We've done this. We need money to scale. The world needs to know what you've done with the little that you have.
Done.
But if you don't put your story out there, you don't share what the little that you've done or the little you are doing, nobody's going to help, right?
Wow.
And I think that you don't have to start with loans. You can start with grants, and that's how I started.
Okay.
You know, $5,000 here, $10,000 here, $5 million here, $2 million here. Use that money to build whatever concept or business idea, and
Wow.
it will do well.
Thank you so much. That was powerful and amazing. I want to say a very big thank you to you for joining me today on this show. I mean, this is amazing. Your thoughts are so profound, and I'm sure that the people watching will be empowered. They will learn a lot from these conversations, and that is the whole idea of POV with Seun Osigbesan. The idea is to equip people, empower them, give them wisdom, right? Getting different people from different walks of life to share their point of view about different topics. And that's what you've done today, about couples in business, about business funding, and about mentorship. And honestly, it was a rich conversation. So thank you once again, Dr. Olufemi Olumide, for being here today.
The doctor.
You can't raise it to me and not be a doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's
great having you.
It's been a great
today.
honor to be here.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.